You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, the Montana Supreme Court grants a Billings man a new trial, but little changed when the verdict was handed down. We have the latest ahead. Plus, a Big Fork student has his lung punctured after being impaled by a javelin. Of course, we'll have the details. But first, two Missoula murder suspects who took the lives of others and tried to dissolve the victims' bodies in acid, sentenced for their roles in the gruesome murders. Tears and apologies in a Missoula County courtroom as a judge hands down 2 life sentences. Augustus Standing Rock and Tiffany Pierce both previously pled guilty to killing 15-year-old Marilyn Pickett and 24-year-old Jackson Wiles back in August of 2017. Documents say after the killings, the pair attempted to dissolve the bodies in tubs filled with chemicals in the basement of their Strand Avenue home.
I would like to offer my deepest and most sincere apologies and condolences. I would also like to apologize to my family and friends, not only for the shame and embarrassment and shock I've caused, but also for the burden that I've become.
I apologize. There's nothing I can say or do. I'll take anything back.
Well, the judge gave no restrictions on parole eligibility, so that means that both Standing Rock and Pierce could be up for parole at any given time. A Billings man already convicted in a 2015 murder is found guilty again. 36-year-old James Pollock, accused of killing a man over a woman, is given another trial. However, the Montana Supreme Court granted Pollock a new trial, saying critical evidence was excluded. So after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury found him guilty again. Pollock's family broke out into tears after hearing that verdict.
This case is 4 years old and no one ever gave up on it, and it's gratifying to get justice for this family. It's a sad case all the way around, and anytime you're doing a retrial, things are very difficult in terms of the rulings of the court and the types of evidence that can come in and cannot come in, and so it's very, very difficult. But we're just extremely grateful for the service of the jury. This was a tough case for them to hear. Very sad set of facts, very violent.
All right, so back in 2015, Pollock shot and killed 29-year-old Scott Hofferber in a Billings Heights trailer park. 7 months later, he was found guilty and then sentenced to 80 years in prison. 3 Blackfeet tribal members who racked up false overtime and stole thousands from a Head Start program are ordered to jail. They claim over 5,000 hours of overtime since 2013. Both Patrick Calfboss Ribbs and Denise Sharp will serve 9 months in prison, and Teresa Calfboss Ribbs will serve 8 months. All 3 are also ordered to pay $139,000 in restitution. That is for each of them. A Big Fork teen is recovering tonight after being struck in the chest by a javelin at track practice. So this is video right now of Epperly during the basketball season. He is a standout athlete. And he was throwing outside of the zone, the javelin zone. That's when a gust of wind caused the javelin to veer off course. He was then flown to a Kalispell hospital. The athletic director at Big Fork says the javelin punctured Epperly's lung and missed major arteries. He's also a standout football player for the Vikings. We're told that he is expected to make a full recovery. New at 9, voters in Laurel being asked to support a $3 million levy come May. We hear from district leaders tonight who say student safety at the high school needs to be addressed.
Looking ahead to the future.
Well, I don't know how anybody argues with safety and security.
There are several key issues Superintendent Linda Filppula says need immediate attention.
Safety and security, deferred maintenance.
All of these issues that could be solved through a building reserve levy, where $1 million will be used at the high school level, another $2 million used to buy land for a future elementary school.
So one of the safety deficiencies is right here at the front of Laurel High School. So while there is surveillance video rolling, there's no buzzer system to get into the front doors. People can freely walk through.
The use of keyless entry and an intercom system, all something school leaders say would improve safety.
Safety is really becoming at the forefront of every conversation that we have.
If you take a walk through the halls of Laurel High School, Principal Shonda Zahara points out antiquated systems.
This would give just that one extra level of security and ease that I don't have to worry about my kids going to school.
All of these things, though, already identified in the 2017 November bond election, which ultimately failed.
The very next day, I'm like, we still have the same issues today that we had yesterday, and we need to address them.
Now the district says this levy option will end up reducing the amount of money district residents already pay.
Either way, they'll see a decrease. It's the amount of decrease.
The current building reserve levy is set to expire in June.
All right, so if you are in Laurel, the cost for the Building Reserve Fund levying is about $19 a year for home valued at $100,000. Those ballots are going to be mailed out starting April 19th. New details tonight surrounding a missing teen in Lake County. 15-year-old Whisper Little Owl Horseman was reported missing Wednesday from Polson. Flathead Tribal Police are investigating, and police say that she's 5'4", 160 pounds. There's a picture of her right there on your screen. She's got brown hair, brown eyes, and anyone who knows anything about her whereabouts are encouraged to call that number that you see right there on your screen. Two bills aimed at addressing missing and murdered Indigenous women in Montana are alive once again at the Montana legislature. Still, each faces some pretty big deadlines. As MTN's Jonathan Ambarian tells us, supporters are trying to get them back on track.
Advocates say they're hopeful that the Montana legislature will be able to pass two previously stalled bills addressing what they call the epidemic of missing and murdered people, especially Indigenous women in the state.
There's a real need for us to start monitoring, identifying, and following these cases to ensure that things are going to get done.
Representative Ray Peppers, a Democrat from Lame Deer, is sponsoring House Bill 21, known as Hannah's Act. It would create a missing persons specialist in the Montana Department of Justice, who would work closely with federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement on missing persons cases and manage the state missing persons database.
Missing and murdered, in particular Indigenous women, there has been no follow-up. So this will force that action.
The Senate Finance and Claims Committee amended the bill to authorize $205,000 for the new position. They also tied the bill to Senate Bill 312, sponsored by Senator Jason Small, a Republican from Busby. That bill would create a task force on missing Indigenous people. The task force would manage a grant for a tribal college to create a network to share information on missing people. The House Judiciary Committee had tabled the bill last week, but revived it on Thursday. Then on Friday, they passed the bill through to the full House.
I'm thankful that it's a bipartisan support on our House side.
Because the bills have been amended, they must both pass the full House or Senate by Tuesday.
I'm very anxious to see this get done. We're so close.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
So neither bill has been scheduled to be heard yet on the floor, and we'll let you know when that happens. Listen up, Montanans. Your fee to get into state parks and trails could be going up. The Montana House gave approval to a proposal increase. The bill would increase an opt-out fee on annual vehicle registrations from $6 to $9. The money would go to improvements to fishing access sites and support trail improvements. So if approved, it goes to a final vote in the House. And another week in the Montana legislature, lawmakers aren't much closer to resolving two of the biggest issues of the session, Medicaid expansion and the future of Colstrip. MTN's Mike Dennison explains.
The state Senate deadlocked 25-25 Thursday on the bill to continue Medicaid expansion, which provides health coverage to 96,000 low-income adults in Montana. On Friday, Democrats asked the Senate to take it up again, but leaders of the Republican majority argued against it.
I've had a lot of people come to me with a lot of questions that they're delving into that legislation and they want some more time.
The Democrats' request failed on a 24-26 vote. It appears Republicans are waiting to see what will happen to a proposal meant to encourage Northwestern Energy to buy a portion of the Colstrip 4 power plant and a related high-voltage transmission line. GOP lawmakers say the purchase will help prolong the life of the power plant, save jobs, and help energy generation in the state. Late Friday, on a party line vote, Republicans on a House committee approved a bill containing this proposal.
So no matter what, Montana is going to need more power. If there's an opportunity for us to pick it up right here, already in place in Colstrip, burning coal that's from Montana, I don't see how this is a problem.
The bill was amended to give the State Public Service Commission more control over how Northwestern customers would pay for the plant costs. But Democrats say it's still a bad idea.
This committee and this legislature is most obviously not a substitute for the PSC, nor is this committee and this legislature the proper place to negotiate specific energy trades.
But it's also not clear whether sponsors of the Colstrip bill like the amendments either, or what that means for action on the Medicaid bill. Republican State Senator Dwayne Ankney of Colstrip told MTN News late Friday that the Colstrip proposal may end up in a joint House-Senate conference committee, which could insert the language that makes it work. One thing we do know, the clock is ticking. Whichever bill solves this puzzle must clear their respective House by Tuesday. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mike, for that. Well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, small businesses in Bozeman still thriving. And this is even as big box stores continue to move in. So we're going to show you how coming up. And right after the break, Ed McIntosh is in for Bob McGuire. He's got your weekend forecast all across the state of Montana when we come back.